Hello and welcome to our deep night journey. Tonight we drift among the stars to recount one of history's greatest tales of survival. A story of courage, ingenuity, and unwavering hope. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let your mind travel back to April 1970. This is the story of Apollo 13. Our tale begins not with a disaster, but with a dream. 3 astronauts, Commander Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Haise, were soaring toward the moon. They were on the cusp of becoming the 3rd crew to walk on its dusty surface. 2 days into their journey, everything was perfect. The spacecraft, named Odyssey, was a silver beacon of human ambition, humming along smoothly over 200,000 miles from home. The crew was relaxed, performing their duties and even sharing a light-hearted television broadcast with the world below. They showed everyone their home in space, a marvel of engineering, and spoke of the beauty of the Earth, a blue marble suspended in the black velvet of space. But in the quiet that followed, a single chilling message would change everything. "Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here." Those were the words spoken by Jack Swigert, followed by Commander Lovell's confirmation. "Houston, we've had a problem. Back at mission control." A ripple of concern turned into a wave of alarm. On board Apollo 13, a routine procedure stirring the oxygen tanks had triggered a catastrophic explosion. A loud bang echoed through the module. Warning lights flashed crimson, a stark contrast to the calm of moments before. The astronauts felt the ship shudder. Looking out the window, Fred Haise saw something venting into space. It was their lifeblood, oxygen, a source of both breathable air and electrical power, was rapidly escaping from their command module, Odyssey. The dream of landing on the moon vanished in an instant, replaced by a single desperate goal: getting home alive. The situation was dire. The command module, their home and their ride back to Earth, was dying. With its power draining away, it would soon become a cold, silent tomb. Mission Control, led by the unflappable flight director Gene Kranz, declared, "Failure is not an option." The world held its breath as hundreds of engineers on the ground began a race against time. They had to invent solutions to problems they had never imagined. The first crucial decision was made. The astronauts would need to abandon the crippled Odyssey and move into the lunar module, Aquarius. This smaller craft, designed only to land 2 men on the moon, was now their lifeboat. It had limited power, limited oxygen, and was built for a short journey, not a 4-day trip back to Earth. Inside Aquarius, the 3 men were cramped and cold. To conserve precious battery power, they shut down nearly all systems. The temperature inside the tiny module plummeted, approaching freezing. Water condensed on the walls, and the windows frosted over. The astronauts were cold, tired, and dehydrated, rationing water to ensure the ship's electronics wouldn't overheat. But a more immediate threat was emerging. The air they were breathing was becoming toxic. The system for removing carbon dioxide in the lunar module was designed for 2 men for 2 days, not 3 men for 4. The filters were becoming saturated. Meanwhile, the command module had plenty of spare filters, but they were square. The openings in the lunar module's system were round, a classic square peg in a round hole problem. But this one was a matter of life and death. Back in Houston, a team of engineers was handed a box containing only the items available to the astronauts on the spacecraft: a flight manual, plastic bags, cardboard, and of course, duct tape. Their task was to build an adapter, a way to make the square filter fit the round hole, using only these materials. Step by step, they worked out a procedure. They then read the instructions up to the crew, who were more than 200,000 miles away. Piece by piece, the astronauts followed the directions, cobbling together the makeshift device. They taped the cardboard to a hose, connected the filter, and sealed it all with duct tape. It was an ugly, improvised creation. But when they turned it on, the carbon dioxide levels in the cabin began to fall. They had a solution. They could breathe again. Human ingenuity, guided by calm voices across the vastness of space, had triumphed with the air scrubbed clean. The next great challenge was navigating home. The explosion had thrown Apollo 13 off its original course. To get back on track, the crew needed to perform a critical engine burn, a precise firing of the lunar module's descent engine. But without their primary guidance systems, they were flying blind. The normal navigation tools were powered down to save energy. They had to rely on a manual alignment, using the sun as their guide. Peer in through a small optical sight. Commander Lovell had to center the sun perfectly in his crosshairs, while his crewmates manually fired the thrusters to position the spacecraft. It was a maneuver of incredible difficulty, like trying to thread a needle from a moving car. The burn had to be perfect, too long or too short, and they would either burn up in Earth's atmosphere or skip off into space forever. With steady hands and nerves of steel, they executed the burn. It was a success. They were on a path home. The final hours were perhaps the most uncertain. The crew had to leave their lifeboat, Aquarius, and power up the command module, Odyssey, for re-entry. But Odyssey had been dormant and frozen for 4 days. Would its systems restart? Would the parachutes, which had been subjected to sub-zero temperatures, deploy correctly? There was no way to know. The whole world watched and waited. As Apollo 13 streaked into Earth's atmosphere, it was enveloped in a ball of plasma, creating a communication blackout that lasted longer than anyone expected. The minutes ticked by in agonizing silence. Had they made it at mission control? Every eye was on the main screen, every ear straining for a signal. Then, through the static, a voice. A parachute was sighted. Then another, and another. Odyssey, battered but intact, was descending gracefully into the Pacific Ocean. The astronauts were safe. A collective sigh of relief, followed by thunderous applause and tears of joy, erupted in mission control and around the globe. The mission, once called a successful failure, was more than that. It was a testament to human resilience. It showed that even when faced with impossible odds, the combination of teamwork, quick thinking, and an unbreakable will to survive can lead to a miracle. The story of Apollo 13 is not just a chapter in space history. It is a profound lesson in hope. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, when we feel lost and far from home, there is always a way back. It teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to act in spite of it. As you drift off to sleep tonight, carry this story with you. Let the quiet courage of the Apollo 13 astronauts and the brilliance of the team at Mission Control inspire a sense of peace and possibility. Remember that within you lies a similar strength, a capacity for resilience that can guide you through any challenge. The universe is vast and sometimes daunting, but humanity's spirit is equally boundless. Sleep now and dream of the stars, knowing that even in the infinite darkness, there is always a light to guide you home. Thank you for joining this journey. Sweet dreams.